I got the Ricola.
I have those too, thanks.
The of and
moat,
to
holy,
if
backwards,
I should
readable,
all be up in
rotate, cheap,
about
pained,
with. So,
stale,
because
fog,
meanwhile, around it,
thicken,
what will, unless
well,
we
sleeved,
they
exchanger,
insofar
could peel immediate
lest
nails
it are
backs,
out,
placid
till
pillar reach
even
beside
if
after
whether both
heels,
as far as
comma,
and you
neat,
could
married,
that am
singular,
sort is the here
gulp,
when I
pasture,
to either
adrift happen,
or
slow,
from the of it
burning,
how
houses beneath each,
or
wants,
when
tender,
am
infinite
one
function,
have
whack,
at its gut
hinged, engine, root, white,
he
narrow,
they and I'll
chime,
it to you.
exhaust,
For
charred,
this is
veined,
have to
angled
the there of my
tongues,
is, and
along
around it
Atlantic,
I up,
sagging,
and each
utter,
back the is in
needles,
is
dark, cone,
no
branches before leashed,
the by
fields, chirp,
at
myth,
once
amnesias,
almost now we're here and
pages,
after the today
hidden,
the over
shutting,
the and
milk,
and the in the away from the against
blanket,
the here where the have be and is. Thanks.
We're just going into it.
Do it.
Hard. I have a little bit of a sore throat, so I'm going to try to project as much as I can. But I'm also a very quiet speaker anyway. We'll see.
No boats right now.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody who put this together. This is really awesome. Everybody for coming. Lobo Marino for getting us here. It's been a great journey. I sort of realized too that I'm really bad at introducing poems because they're not necessarily about anything particular. But this first one is entitled Guilt, the GILT variety, which means covered in gold. Let tomorrow come to the white swan of tide pools. Wow. The fronds of longitude, sweet beast music in the shade. The see-through orbit of cloud heads. Caboose of primrose. Quadrants of inky cheekbones dissolving before the imagined farmhouse. Is that what? This next is sorry. This next one is untitled. It's sort of after a dream that I had. All afternoon, the grass and the gramophone spoke together. My heart became a red ball of dirt I dragged behind my left heel. I felt it, then I couldn't. This is the last dream I ever want to have because, like childhood, everything smelled like white. Everything was the color of disappearing. I followed white ankles and wrists back to my room where I asked myself how many books I need to stand on to reach the sound. Is this loud enough?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. I'll read this one. It's Poor Circus. You must not like my plums. They're always left on the tree. The word fog wants to sound heavy. Perhaps you experience an embarrassment departing from the logic of language. The sight of things we aren't allowed to mean prevents our dancing. But somewhere around the door of your face or belly's bottom, you find yourself where you are, braving the alarms. This next is called Swarms. My body as carped reflection, you tell me what this might mean? Mind the hidden, the mind's odd periphery, its curve sailing sideways. There is no real word yet, only a spear of geese thrown in the wrong direction, but a man came into a house and leaned his hand against the wall, and then the light. The light lit back like these. This is an inner landscape, unpathed and inexhaustibly wolfed, but lucid with compromise. Those we know, though, they go dark like a window. Mother-throated instruments, sagging portals of wordless depth, sob-drab festival of sound at the all-rounding readable surface, the dark-hued planet of totality in that one place is Polis. And I'm gonna finish with a few pieces, selections from my chapbook entitled Heeldrager, which I guess is about self-imposed impasse. Yeah. My aristocratic coldness feigns a chirping, brittle violence. It pigeons and coos. This door leads to another door, then down a hallway. I imagine death as a spore or a loosening hood. Go away more quietly next time. Voice is a runged approach toward the eye stuck on small, white sleep. Bunny hides all coat-cheeked and clean. What I wanted to show you already disappeared. The ground fed on its hooves. I want to be clean as a wick. I want to be soft.
Somebody say a number between 1 and 4.
3.
All right. Okay.
Hold on, can I just read it?
Sure. This book's about math, and it's really complicated. Because math is hard. That's all I have to say about that.
So wait, do you want to do the
Sure. Quadratic 3 and
I'll just do 3 of both. Can we do that?
okay. Wait, what?
Sorry.
Okay. Just do all. Sure.
You can't.
Yeah, why not?
There exists for all words rolled in rags less than moment, a second set of wings less than flap, such that if ladder minus appetite is less than 0, then the wave of the previous 2 eyelashes when clamped must also mean nothing. Consider. Stove to the cage power
Equals womb.
tied to the end power
Equals the snip.
Down to the blue power,
Equals sleep.
pulled to the etch power.
Equals thorn.
Solve. Magnitude factorial. Magnitude times echo times gape times drop times rock equals abyss.
Diagonal factorial. Diagonal times crooked times flight times scheme times slide times elbow equals wingspan.
Bulb factorial. Bulb times stamen times suck times cone times knot times thread times pull equals viscera.
Injure factorial. Injure times teeth times rose times comb equals erode. And like the wild cold morning of that world, the eyes of the daguerreotype were cold and clear and were not anxious about the afternoon and the evening.
Eyes times of times daguerreotype equals wild morning times cold plus clear minus anxious times afternoon plus evening. Afternoon plus evening equaling 1. Eyes times daguerreotype equals wild cold plus wild clear minus anxious. X equals the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a.
A equals a chance balloon. B equals year of green honey. C equals a wood pile somewhere.
There exists a real number, a chance balloon, such that for all real numbers, year of green honey, a wood pile somewhere can be shown to equal 1.
A chance balloon squared plus year of green honey x plus a wood pile somewhere equals 0.
X equals the opposite of year of green honey plus or minus the square root of year of green honey squared minus 4 times a chance balloon times a wood pile somewhere, all over 2 times a chance balloon.
X equals salt leaching red plus or minus the square root of jitterbug grass minus 4 in her mother's dress, all over flocking inward.
X equals salt leaching red plus or minus the square root of soft downed calves all over flocking inward.
X equals salt leaching red plus or minus bodies glossing all over flocking inward.
X equals opened and pulped over flocking inward. X equals throw a rock on the tinder pile over flocking inward.
X equals wind stroke. X equals wings slap.
So this, after I put away this thing. Read it. Oh, I got it. Oh, there you go.
Don't need a number? You don't need a number this time?
Okay, I'll just read a few of my own. All the same requisite thank yous. Thank you, Greg, for picking up on this random emergency call like 3 days before we were supposed to be in town and throwing this together. This is really cool. I've also never read on a dock before, so that's fun. And for recording it, and I feel like I'm dressed like a clown right now. It's really cold, and this is the only sweater I have. I love these pants. It's the sweater I'm mostly apologizing for. So I'll start with this little prose poem called CTB that was just published in the 3rd edition of Droop Fruits, a journal for prose poetry on Plumberry's Press. CTB. It was like when you're sitting on a train rolling lazily into the station, and maybe you're watching the overgrowth on the other side of the chain-link fence, and you're sort of peacefully over there with the big leaves swaying in the wind, and suddenly a train coming from the other direction on the track next to you cuts through your vision, and all you can see is this giant silver bullet separated from your face by a foot of rushing air and 2 panes of glass. It was like that, except with no air and no glass. This poem is about the respiratory system. It was part of a series that we did with our old writing group on systems of the body. Strike the internal match, breathe, and flower the colorless into tiny pink alveoli, like the space between withering winter twigs is fullness with the backdrop of lost purple city sky. Hope the thinnest membrane will hold, balloon blown 20,000 times a day through arbor bronchialis, passive diffusion somehow into capillaries, this transfer of molecules from physical to physical to physical, but so unseen, untouchable, the oxygen transmission like energy as potential just before the apple falls. The automatic body processing itself to life and activity. 20,000 times a day, the sky falls, but momentarily, involuntary and only a few centimeters before buoying back on another gust of wind. Phil, this one is an erasure. It was really cool that you read those. I really enjoyed that. And I've been playing with erasure a lot lately too, so that was fun. I'll start with a quote from the article that I took this text from. More people should see what I see here, says Michael Big Mike Spicer, whose job is to sculpt trash into a mountain with the blade of a bulldozer. Everything that's advertised on TV ends up here sooner or later, and a lot sooner than most people think. Each push disappears. Go. Computer team out. Smart half our ratty old equivalent. Enlarge, valuable, clever. Our much contains what once used about a third of what found our trash Bible. Byzantine waste. Polystyrene shrink wrap, level and restore. Materials flow back, weighing the number by trade. Related. Emerging. How some collect on track to an average lifetime. Leading export mountains. Crushed scrap. Community management protection according to 300 million alone. How much new Los Angeles decomposing? High enough summit, a mashing chief just inside each other, up in that leave and shunning the not build limits emanating from various hidden burn arcs. 25,000 volcanic death promises of cut water, whether that real invisible growing stops. Right, and I'll end with this piece, which is called Eris, as in Eris, the Greek goddess of discord. The whole story behind this, if you don't know, is there was this big society wedding on Olympus, and she was the only one who wasn't invited, so she decides to mess with the people at the wedding, and she makes this golden apple that says "to the fairest one" on it. She throws it out to the crowd. Hera, Aphrodite, and who else? Apollo, no, Artemis. Athena? It was Athena, thank you. They get into this big fight over it, and Zeus gets involved. He brings them all over to Paris. Everybody has a bribe for Paris. Aphrodite offers him Helen of Troy in marriage. She's already married. The Trojan War gets started. Not really Eris's fault, but she gets blamed for it, is the point of that story. So Eris, 1. It started raining battered sheetrock, and you looked everybody in the eye, all unchained and branched to the outside, with the static dispersion wish and the misplaced, unbridled, and the finished and claimed, and the lighted space between the celebrated fowl, the alley, rats, 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 rats. 2. What I desire is the undoing of all desire. I want you draped across my lap so I can slit your throat and bleed you. I come to you in wartime when you're eaten and say, worship me, for I am great. There is no thing. I golden apple. You fight for it like bridesmaids over strife. 3. The fairest. Unerost. Don't take this the wrong way. I mean, I'm certainly not. Promised the prize you did. You hypocrite. You unknowingly Christmased my baby murder. 4. All my children, toil and forgetfulness, starvation, pains, full of weeping, all weeping, abhorred, lies and ruins, they all, so many, they bore me, no I born of night, along with death and dreams, both violent and otherwise, I never had a chance to be the kind of sweet you wish to mix your sharp with. 5. Beware of all the 5th days, for they are harsh and angry. It was on the 5th, they say, that the Erinyes assisted at the bearing of Porcos, oath, my son, my plague on those who took false oath. Their blood sweetens his earth, Hesiod unfairly wrote. Scandalized we, the dead prayed, they gained, they perished with falsehood on their lips. 6. Vanity is, look, it's the prettiest one, your bride, my apple. You do not understand how things work around here. I am not beautiful. I will be destroyed.